Let me preface this by pointing out that I've probably had more hours in 2x KO on day -1 of the CBT than 99% of the players out there. Not as much as Sajam or Diaphone or anybody else that's already established in the scene and directly working with Riot, of course. But with 2 Alpha Labs under my belt, yeah, at this point my fingers generally know what to do. I generally know what to expect. Even with newcomers Vi and Blitzcrank on the scene, I'm coming into the game with some preconceptions and informed by prior direct experiences, right? I've clearly been following its development for a while, inclusive of 2 direct experiences with its Evo demos, and the closed beta is still better than I expected. No, I'm not talking about having expectations down in the basement and finding myself surprised to see sunlight. I was expecting good netcode. I was expecting creative kits and fluid controls. I was expecting basically the parts of the original Alpha Labs I was inclined to enjoy and hope that they could address the parts that didn't make as much sense or were as enjoyable to experience. And Riot succeeded at that. The dreadful timeouts from AL2 in particular are infrequent now, more of a consequence of mutual shyness in the match than a matter of system mechanics working against the players. The combo routes are sick as hell. We're working to create an environment defined less by hardwired developers' intent and more of a matter of emergent outcomes. It's been delightful to see that Blitzcrank's big fat mitts are basically able to turn even the shallowest floor bounce into utter devastation, and inversely trying to find the exact height to cancel Jinx's air heavy into air rocket jump into air straight rocket has been killing me because of the stringent timing requirements to get enough airtime for everything needed. This is, in other words, not a game lacking skills expression. Not a game where every combo ends up looking the same. It has a singular best quality that I look for in a fighting game. One whose level of possible expression is so broad that you can easily identify players just based on their preferred tools and combo routes. The systems and combo engines and everything else somehow harmonizes amid its chaos, producing what's quickly becoming my favorite modern fighting game system. But that's not the part that's better than expected. I saw the potential early. And that's nothing remarkable on my part. The whole community did when they heard that a bunch of old Marvel vs. Capcom 3 killers were in charge of this project. The moment that it became abundantly clear that there was going to be grime and dirt under all of our damn fingernails with the assist system, we knew that the potential for absolute degeneracy was well within 2SKO's scope. It's within that context that 2SKO Closed Beta does hold a delightful surprise for us. The spirit of Marvel was something that was self-evidently beautiful at the highest levels, but tapping into that spirit as a newcomer to tag fire throwdowns was something previously thought to be a futile effort. This turf was the exclusive domain of veteran button mashers. It was the hardcore of hardcore subgenres for a scene that was already proven largely impenetrable since the end of the arcade era. The exceptions, whether it be the wild mutations that led to the rise of platform fighters like Smash Bros. Or the soul-driven experience of Mortal Kombat's Dao combo engine and wacky-ass storytelling, are largely exceptions that prove the rule, drawing in the gross majority of the overall fighting game audience for reasons and features that laid outside of the genre's orthodox structure in of itself. What makes 2XKO exceptional is that its harmony amid chaos attributes, in contrast to any other prior tag fighter attempts, seems to extend to all levels of play. It wasn't any one thing in any one system. It wasn't just post-fuse auto combos. It wasn't just simplified input specials. It wasn't just beginner-friendly team-based fuses. It was all of them, to create not a linear system of tutorials and beginner to intermediate programs, but an emergent environment where the intrinsic reward for engaging with deeper and deeper curiosity is rewarded by slicker and more adrenaline spiking plays. But you're inversely not punished for not having every system nominally mastered out of the starting gates, even if you wouldn't win against somebody more skilled and you really won't. You will have plenty of moments to engage against them before that KO logo flashes across the monitor, so long as you remember to try any of the defensive systems, from normal as blocking to assist bursts to push block. Now, I don't think this was necessarily a stroke of masterful insight on Riot's part. Rather, it's really on them willing to attempt a wide spectrum approach at all. Instead of wondering which of their peers did newbie on-ramping best and ate their philosophy, their decision appears to simply be, what if we just took all of this into the blender and figured it out from there? And truly, there are worse ways to figure out the best ways to bring in as many people into the game than to give them something that might work out for them better than it would for others. Though I'm sure the balancing act to make sidekick mode or sidekick fuse don't just outright drive freestyle to obsolescence, that I'm sure took a lot of trial and error. A lot of modern pedagogy make that observation, of course. One size fits all education is deeply suboptimal when culture, personal development, and environment all play a part in how any individual processes information. And while fighting games might not be general education, they're encoded in such a fundamentally different systems level language from any other form of competitive gaming that even a faker tier league player or FPS player will need to relearn from base principles. It should probably not be a surprise to learn, then, that the best way to teach fighting games, or at least teach why they're so damn cool, is to route a newcomer in by whatever path of least resistance exists for them individually. And yes, this sometimes means letting their friends or elder siblings carry their asses until the thirst for beat 'em up glory bites them too, and they find themselves up at 2 a.m. labbing out Vice damn charge upper timings. Now, all of the above is just to say that I really like the direction that 2XKO is taking, and that it's much farther along what I think an ideal fighting game looks like than I would have necessarily expected from my prior experiences. It's obviously not perfect yet. I'm resigned to the fact that we're going to be listening to scrubs complain about the rank system for years, regardless of how they structure it. It's also missing some key features in the closed beta that I personally think are indispensable. Combo trials, user submitted or otherwise, are extremely important to intermediate skills development, and though I realize that the frame meter used in Street Fighter 6 is unfortunately a proprietary system, I do wish that there was some way to leverage similar visual indicators in the lab to make it easier to piece together what does and doesn't work, rather than wholly through trial and error. In particular, I kind of wish that there was a way to send people customized combo trials or replay takeovers to try out. If there is anything like a universal way to learn fighting games, after all, it's by way of working out among your mates in the community. Now, I very, very much look forward to see what the future of the game has in store for us. Enough so that I can almost excuse the imminent addition of Teemo to the roster.